Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again. In this video, I'm going to be doing a review of the EP "Loser" by the band Angel Witch. It was released in 1981, and I guess it's sort of an end of, their classic era, which roughly ran about 1978 to around 81. Although I think there was like one other release that came up, one or two other releases that came out after this that still had Kevin Hayborn on vocals, but uh, I don't know. I consider this the end of the classic era. But anyway, so the lineup is still three band members, but there's a different drummer. Of course, Kevin Hayborn on vocals and guitar, Kevin Riddles on bass, and Dave Dufort, is that how you pronounce it? Dufort on drums. But anyway, so the EP opens up with the title track, Loser. Really great, catchy song with a really cool guitar solo, and a secondary guitar solo that comes near the very end of the song, and then it sort of fades out. The riffs are really great too. Yeah, sure they didn't do. Oh, I almost knocked that over. Sure, they didn't do many commercial songs. I guess this EP is probably the most commercial they ever got. Most mainstream commercial sounding they ever got. But they don't go overboard with it, and that's what I like about this. In pretty much the entirety of the EP, it's commercial enough to where it can be a wider range of listeners that don't necessarily listen to heavy metal, but at the same time it's not pandering and not overly commercial. They sort of get that sort of very good balance in here of still metal, still doing their own thing, still sounding like Angel Witch, but commercial enough to where I guess they can get a little bit more popularity or whatever, more sales, I guess. But yeah, really great song, and again, every single song on here is pretty much the how I described in terms of just the overall musical style and just the feel and everything. But yeah, catchy riff, great guitar solo, two actually. There's two guitar solos in here. But yeah, the song "Loser" is great. I think they did a music video to that at one point, or was it a promo video? I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah. So the next song is the song "Suffer." This is my second favorite song on here. Again, great riffing, great solo. Not as good as the solo in the first song, but still really good. Still great, actually. And then of course the vocals are great as well. Actually, probably this is probably Kevin Hayborn's best vocal performance on either of these songs. The third one, I'm not counting the third one because that's an instrumental, but in terms of vocal wise of these songs, this is the best. He does sort of the usual stuff, but then he goes a little bit has those little bit high notes that he did during the early days. That he puts into certain notes from time to time where it goes a little bit higher. And it sounds great. But yeah, overall another great, catchy, fun song. And then the last one is actually an instrumental, Dr. Phibes, which is probably the fan favorite off of here. And I can see why. It's actually my favorite as well. It's only like 2 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 2 minutes and 54. So almost 3 minutes, I guess. But it is epic. Like, yes, it's a very short instrumental, but somehow they're able to pack so much grandeur and epicness into such a short and simple instrumental as well. Like, there's not so much going on, but even though it's simply done and it's super short, it has this grandiose, epic feel to it. And it's not even the over the top kind. It's a more sort of like modest a modest kind of way, if that makes any sense. It's not in your face kind of epic. It's just a very sort of like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it other than just sort of a more modest kind of epic, I guess. But yeah, great guitar work. Probably Kevin Hayborn's best guitar work. Probably since the first demo and the Angel Witch self-titled song as well. But and White Witch too, I guess. But yeah, this is probably up there in some of the best guitar work by Kevin Hayborn. Super, super great, super melodic. I love the melodies he does on this instrumental. And then the bass work by Kevin Riddles is also fantastic. Like there's this point in the near the end of the instrumental where the guitar takes a step back. It's sort of in the goes in the background, and then the bass gets its moment to shine, and the bass playing, it's so simple, it's just a couple of notes, but yet it's so cool and so like memorable. And I love how the music ebbs and flows in this instrumental. It's just great. um but yeah, it ends with a fantastic instrumental. But yeah, those are the songs. This is gonna be a little bit of a shorter video because again, there's only 3 tracks on here. But anyway, so before I get into my final verdict in my rating, I'm gonna show off the artwork really quickly. Now, Angel Witch has never had the best artwork. That they've never had terrible artwork or even bad artwork. Just most of their releases are just kind of meh, especially later on after no, I'd say after the next lineup change with their I forget there was Frontal Assault, and then there was another one that I can't remember the name of. Those probably had the best album arts of the entire discography. But I'd say after those albums, the album arts just kind of were just meh. They're meh, they're okay, I guess. Um, but yeah, the artwork on here is actually really good. I love how it's like a tarot card. It just says a loser, and there's a picture of the Grim Reaper with like snakes coming out of its head. Um, And then you get the classic Angel Witch logo there. And again, it's super simple but super effective. I love it. And then the back, actually I need to take the vinyl and the inner sleeve out. So this did not come with an inner sleeve originally. The seller who I bought this from added this, which is nice, but actually at the same time, it's kind of aggravating because this sleeve is slightly too big for the cover, so you can't put it in without ripping it. So that's why it was, I mean, yeah, sure, it was for shipping reasons, it was put, on the back here instead of in the actual case. But at the same time, it's a couple 2 inches wide for the case, so I kind of have to keep it, just in the inner part of the sleeve and not actually in the actual case itself. Anyway, I'm rambling. But the back is not really that elaborate. It's literally just a picture of the 3 band members, and then of course, the track listing on the back here of side 2. So overall, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. This is one of the absolute best things they ever released. And in my opinion, it's the last good thing they released. Like, Frontal Assault on that other one, while the instrumentation ranges from good to okay, the replacement vocalist was not good. He had way too low of a tone, low of a sort of a more baritone voice, and his vocal style was just not. It just did not fit the music. Even when they got Kevin Hayborn back, even though his vocals were really good again. Well, I mean, he never left. He was always the guitarist. He just didn't do vocals for a while because I guess I don't remember exactly what was going on with him, but I think he was starting to sort of rough up his vocal cords, and he needed time to recover or something like that, I think. But even when Kevin Hayborn came back and did, or not came back, but when he started to do vocals again, he was great. But the musicality, for the most part, just the songs as a whole for the rest of their discography, were just kind of okay. They weren't memorable, except for the first song on the one album called So As Above So Below. That first song, Dead Sea Scrolls, is an absolute masterpiece. But everything else is not during that reunion time, or not reunion, but everything else around that time, the songs and albums as a whole weren't that good. But yeah, honestly, like I said, 10 out of 10, and it's the last great Angel Witch release. Yeah, I highly recommend. I can't speak today. I highly recommend tracking this down if you can. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, unfortunately, this was never re-released, like as its own thing. It was re-released in like some anniversary edition of the self-titled album. The self-titled Angel Witch album, I believe it was like the 30th anniversary or something like that. It was on CD only. And I believe this single was the bonus tracks on there. But as for its own individual release, it was never re-released like that. So if you want to track this down, I highly recommend it. But it's gonna probably be hard trying to find a good condition copy. Usually, I see these going for. I usually see these like the condition wise, usually anywhere from very good plus to around very good minus, or even once in a while like just good. I just managed to find this like the vinyl was near mint. The case was very good plus. As you can see, there's a little bit of like tearing and scuffing on the edge here. And the bottom is it's not torn, but it is definitely scuffed a lot around the edges. But not too much to where it's super noticeable, but definitely it's starting to show its age. But it's stable. It's not like falling apart or anything. But yeah, the record itself was never played, and yeah, it sounds fantastic. There's no like crackles or pops on it when you play it. But yeah, overall, an absolutely fantastic release, and I highly, highly, highly recommend anyone who's an Angel Witch fan. Again, definitely worth tracking down a copy of this. All right, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.